So a month ago, there was a health hazard going into this property, but now it's lifted. We can go in again. So this is our first rental property, and like a month ago it was like banned to go inside the property, but now it's allowed again. So in this video I'll just talk a little bit about like mold testing and stuff like that, and a little bit about the conflict and the different reports that and like what happened with this property. So we bought the property in 2019 for around $78,000, and then it had been rented out ever since. When so we got it on the 1st of September. We have 17 properties, and then we rented it out 2 weeks later on the 15th of September, and we had like a zero pay down deal thing with it, so 100% financing. When we bought it, we signed like some insurance. So one insurance was like if there's something wrong with the house, then this insurance will cover it. We had full insurance on the house. So I have an electrical background. We had like some things with the spots here were illegal, and there was like something with the electrical. So we had electrical fixed for 55,000 Danish crowns. So I guess that's around $8,000-9,000 US. So that was pretty cool, right? So that paid the insurance. Then when we got the house, there was like reporting like so there was missing some ventilation in the attic. So I had the contractor out, and then I had him fix that. So that cost like 5,400 Danish crowns. So I guess that's around $800 US. Then we put like 28 valves extra for extra air in the attic up there. Then I had some problems with the stuff in the basement. So I had some guys come out, and I paid like $500 to have that fixed. And then I changed the toilet. So the toilet was a little bit more than $1,000, 8,000 Danish crowns. So that's actually a thing I usually do. So I would change all the toilets every time we get a new property, because like usually there's like some problems with the toilets. And these toilets are pretty cool because they have like this thing where you can put in a stick, and then it turns the water blue and like removes the chalk from the water, which is pretty cool, especially like it doesn't matter where, because we have a lot of chalk in the water down here. And then I put some I changed the ventilation, and then I put some water alarms down in the basement too. So I had these changed, so they were like brand new. There's one there, and then I had another one inside here, up there. So they were changed, right? So that was like a cool thing. Like it's always good, like when you get a house, like to fix like those essential things. I know you can't see it, but it's good that like there's control with the electricity. So when you go and check for mold or asbestos or something like that, then you need some gear. So I have this gear, so it's a little bit dirty right now. It has two filters inside. It has an A2 filter and a P3 filter. So that is needed if you want to work with mold or asbestos or something like that. Then we kind of need the personal protection equipment. So that's what I use when I go and treat mold. So I've been doing that professionally, and I'm certified to take mold test and do that. And I've actually helped other people remove like bans on their properties before. So that's pretty cool. The thing is, when you have like the local municipal, don't upset them, don't make them not like you, right? So that's what happened here. So usually when you go check a house, then you would go and take some humidity tests. Usually you would take two, so you would use two different like devices, and then you would measure. So this is not from this house, it's from a different house, so just an example. And then you would use a thermal camera, and I do also have a thermal drone, so you can go up and then like take an image from the sky. So what happened here with this property was that I had a conflict with the tenant. So the tenant couldn't really afford the rent and like was using way too much water, which she couldn't pay for. So she had to move. The problem was that she paid a deposit and like prepaid rent, but because she owed some money, there was like a close to around 70,000 US dollars like she owed away. So when she moved, then with the deposit, and if there wasn't any damages, she wouldn't get the deposit back. It would go to the people she owed money to instead. So so that was like bad for her, and she wanted to move because like she couldn't afford to live here. Then there was like I had these water alarms, and then we had like a triple cloud burst. That means like a lot of water in a very short period of time. And then water came into the basement, crawl space under the floor, because the gutters on the house hadn't been cleaned, which was like part of the tenant's job. But doesn't matter, right? So I reported it to the insurance company. The only bad thing is that like there went a week because she had removed the water alarm. She was like, oh, she couldn't figure out how to change the batteries, right? So we had water in the basement for a week before like we found out there was water in the basement, and then the tenant was like, Palle, you need to pay me 36,000 Danish crowns, which is like 5,000 Danish US dollars. So pay me that, right? And I was like, no. She said, yeah, but she talked to the tenant organization, and they said that because I wrote in the contract that I would spend a certain amount of money on maintenance, then that was illegal, right? Even though I did spend that money on maintenance, then it was illegal, and then I should pay it back for at least the 3 years. And I said no. So what happened next, right, was that she then contacted the municipal and then said, oh, there's water in the crawl space. And to the insurance company, she told the insurance company, you can't remove the water from the basement. And then the municipal the guy came out, checked the house. Ooh, there's water in the crawl space. Ooh, there's a lot of humidity, right? And like the water had been there for like a month now, right? But then I didn't know that. But then I told her that if she wouldn't let them remove the water, then I would evict her, right? So I would just evict her from and like throw her out. Then she let them, after they had made the check, then she let the insurance company start to do the thing. And then the municipal came back in November, and then they made a new check of the house. So they had like the humidity thing, and they were out like measuring. There was no humidity in the walls, nothing in the floor, nothing in the ceilings, right? So that's like that means the insurance company had done a pretty good job. But then they had to like ban the house, right? So they made the report, and then the report was like full of mistakes and errors, right? So like we have these rules or like stuff for how you make the reports. It's like you can't just go and take one measuring with like for humidity, right? You need a certain amount of those. It's the same thing like can there be something that goes in and manipulates the different numbers? Are like the surface you're testing, is it very, very dirty or something like that? So we need to take all those things into consideration, which they didn't, right? And then they made the ban of the house. So I had to, like, I'm working professionally with it, but they said like, oh, we cannot listen to what you said, right? So I had another guy like write a report and like give the report to them, and then they were like, no. They were like, we don't care. Let us find out how much we care about what you're saying, Palle. But the thing is that I had some tests done. So we do some tests called Mycometer FAI tests. So the way it works is that you set up this thing with like 2 different test things, and you have to follow the guidelines and then set it up and like take a selfie with it, right? So that's the wife. And then you get a result. So the result is like 3 parts. So what we test for is mold. So we have a mold test, then we have an allergen test. So that's how dirty it is. So that means like the mold test can show like that the level of mold is too high, which can mean that there's like a source of mold. But we at the same time we test the allergen, right? And then we can look at those numbers combined. And that gives us like a combined test, because we can have a positive mold test because of pets. We can have a positive mold test because of lack of cleaning, where there is no source of mold. And then and then you get like the combined thing here, right? So here in this house there was no problems, right? So that's the test I had made. So I was actually out in a house recently that was built in 2010, and they were like complaining that they had like some symptoms to like mold, like, and bad indoor climate. So I went out to them, and then I was like, check the house. So I went through the attic, everything in the house, like all the construction. I was like, there's nothing really wrong with this house. The house seemed fine, right? But I told them that it was a little bit dirty inside, and they had these indoor cats that will not go outside, right? So I said, probably you have a bad indoor climate because it's dirty, and you're not opening the windows because then the cats would escape. They were like, no, we don't think so. That has to be something. And the cool thing with the FAI test is that like it will show if there's something wrong. Like 100% certain. If it goes positive, then there's something wrong with the house. So I came back, made the test a few days later, and of course they had like cleaned everything, right? The cool thing again with the test is that even though you clean, then it doesn't matter, right? Because it will look at the difference, right? So sometimes, again, if you clean too much, then a normal test will be negative. But because we're comparing the 2 numbers, then it will become become positive if there's something, right? So we can see it even though it's clean, right? Which is kind of cool, and why they use this at hospitals and stuff like that. So I came back, I took the test, and the test showed that it was because like there was something like they had bad indoor climate, but it was not because of like a source of mold. It was because of probably the cats and then not opening the windows. So that was like cool. So I talked to them that if they wanted to keep the cats, right, then either you get like some robot, what's it called, robot vacuum cleaners, washers, right, go around, wash, and then they should get some like a ventilation system on the attic that can like help change the air in the property when they're not opening the windows. So that was like the solution to that. I've been other places where, in many cases I don't need to take those tests, right, because I can like see that there's something wrong. But anyways, I showed that to the municipal and they didn't care. So I was like, right? Don't become like not friends with them. So because it was like a water thing with flood, then we have a different test. So we do test the houses for bacteria as well. So I usually do that. So the way it works is that you take this, put it in the basement, and then you like take a pen and then you within this area, and then you get a result. Then you can use this result and see like if there's something wrong. So here in this house, when I did the test in April, they were B, which is okay, because it's like the level is when there's no water damage and you have like it's dirty, and it is dirty in the crawl space. It wasn't clean, right? So we will not be able to get the green one, but it's okay, right? So I've used that in other houses too. When I had the insurance company come out and like clean after a cloudburst and like sewer water in the houses. So you would run this test to see if they actually did a good job, right? Often they haven't, right? And then I would have them to like, yeah, come and redo the work, right? But the report here said there was like no problems with mold or anything in the house. So when you take these mold tests, and usually like you need to take pictures, so you would put it up like that, and you would take pictures of where you took it, take pictures where you did it. It's the same when you take the humidity test. Like you, in order with like mold, you would need like humidity and like, so you take the different tests, and you see here like with the test that it's dirty, right? So that is going to go in and affect the results, right? So it's the same thing I have here with the results, right? So the results are like, I have 4 Bs, right? But that's simply because it's dirty, right? But the municipal would not accept that, right? So I had, even though there's no problem, then I had a company come out and then sanitize the entire thing, and then they lifted the ban off the house, so now I can rent it out on Airbnb, Booking.com again, right? But it's just kind of stupid. And then there was like some secret papers that they didn't want to give me, one paper, and then they gave it to me, right? So I just received it, and then they gave me like 4,000 pages of paper more, right? So I have a lot of that. So remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear what was in this secret paper that the municipal didn't want to give me. So last summer, then it was like April, so I had the mold test and stuff, right? So there was no problems with the house, but then the ban wouldn't start till October. So I had like May, June, July, August, September. So I had 5 months. So what I did was that I converted the house and rented it out on Airbnb, Booking.com, and then I actually made more money than the rent for an entire year in those five months, right? So that actually saved the economy a bit with the house. So we have a new course. It's called like Airbnb from trash to cash. There's a 50% discount code. It's called Founder if you are interested in that kind of stuff. Else, I'll make some more content about the Airbnb Booking.com concept on the channel and real estate in general. So again, remember to subscribe. If you like the video, give it a like. If you don't like it, give it a dislike. If you have any comments, questions, anything, write it in the comments below. That was all from me. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.